Hey guys, another fine Saturday here. We're out in the 38 Chrysler today, and leaves are changing. Fall is here again. I'm glad in some ways. Other ways, I want to keep driving my old car, but I think I'm going to have to park it here in another month or so and get focused on that engine and get it back together. I've been deferring that too long now. I have no more excuses. But you know, I realized I hadn't done a video in a couple of weeks, and maybe there's something I can offer today. A few little tidbits of here and there, what we're up to. And today we're going to try a 0 to 60 run in my 38 Chrysler here. A little background information on the engine. I was told it was not the stock engine. I knew that. The serial number does not match the original engine. That's fine. I measured the stroke. It's a 25-inch block, so I know it's a 3 7/16 bore. And I measured the stroke, and I got 4.5. So that tells me it's a 251 cubic inch engine. If it was 4 1/4, it would be 237 cubic inch. If it was 4 3/4, it would be 265 cubic inch. So we're going with 251 cubic inch. Those were found in the Windsors in the late 40s. The Spitfire engine. That's what I'm going with until I take the head off. No hurry to do that. We're going with the stroke. So let's do a 0 to 60 run. I know my speedometer is out about 5 miles per hour. So we're going to go 0 to 55 and see what it looks like in this manual 3-speed. I will have the overdrive engaged. So you'll hear me shift through 3 gears, and then I'll let my foot off the gas and just coast right nicely into overdrive with his like a 4th gear. So here we go. Roll up a few windows. It's not too noisy. I do not have a stopwatch. Let's see what we can do here. Here we go. We'll try another run, just to repeat it for fun. 0 to 60 or so. Overdrive is on. Forgot to mention I have a 390 rear end. stayed in overdrive. It'll do that depending on your road speed. And when I was shifting, before I was in overdrive, by the time I got to 30 miles an hour, I think it was, I needed to come out of second gear and go down to third at about 30 miles an hour. I just noticed with overdrive on, I was around 40 miles an hour in second gear, and then I would shift. So it makes quite a difference. Recently, I was out on the highway with my car here, and I had an interesting incident. Driving down the highway, all of a sudden the ignition just died, and it was not fuel related. I had fuel. I'm in a precarious situation on the highway. I cannot get off the highway. It's a 4-lane highway. The speed limit is about 65 miles an hour. The white line is pretty much under the center of my car. I'm half on the highway. It's a 4-lane highway, and the ignition just died on me. And I pulled over and took the air filter off, checked the accelerator pump. We had fuel, and the engine just would crank over and it wouldn't start. So I started troubleshooting a few things on the side of the highway with very limited tools, and in a dangerous spot. I couldn't really get out of there. I had a cement barrier on the right-hand side of my car because there was a ditch down on the right, and here I am hugging the shoulder. It wasn't fun. So I get into the points and I look and I wiggle the points and I see a spark. So I'm like, okay, I must have a spark. And I check a couple other loose wires, nothing obvious. So I jump back in the car. After about 5 minutes of checking things, I jumped back in the car and it fired right up, and I drove home and I had no more issues. So I started scratching my head going, well, what could it be, right? I've replaced most of the parts in the ignition system. It's all pretty solid. I thought the only thing left is the coil. And the coils, you know, they get hot and they intermittently could fail. And then when they cool down again, they're fine. That's a symptom of early warning of potentially a coil failing. All it took was 5 minutes. It cooled down enough and the coil worked. It was a hot day. Anyways, I made it home. I was about 30 miles from home when that happened. So I checked everything at home again, set the dwell, checked the timing, checked the fuel. Everything seemed to run fine. So in the back of your head, you're thinking, well, I can't have this unreliability when I'm out driving, right? I gotta figure this out. So I started thinking about the coils. I have two. I thought a good spare. It probably works. They work. But if they're gonna act up, I'm changing them. And the original coils are very priced quite aggressively. I took a chance and bought a new modern 6-volt coil, wired it up, and it runs fine. Everything's normal. Car feels good, makes a good spark. I guess I'm gonna have to drive it on the highway again. Take a risk. One lesson from that is to maybe get some hazard triangles, reflective, so I can put them out on the highway. So cars coming up at 65, 70 miles an hour know there's something coming up. They get a warning, they slow down maybe. I'm gonna get some of those, put in the trunk, and start driving it again and see what gives. But I think we're good. Everything's good. Have a look, I'll show you the coil there. I put in a 6-volt modern coil. That hole was already in the firewall, I didn't do that, but I came through that little grommet there, that rubber grommet. That's the wire from the ignition switch. It's insulated inside and wired up. It goes to a rubber grommet there. It's positive ground. The negative side goes to the ignition switch. Positive wire goes to the points. Fit in there very nicely. Bolt it up, no problem. These old coils are questionable. I wanted confidence and reliability. So basically you just disconnect the rear shielding here, take it off. That goes to the ignition switch. This is a spare one I have here. And being as I had a spare, I just took a grinder to here. I cut this metal shrouding off, slid it off, had a wire here. I butt spliced in a new wire and soldered it at about this point here from the ignition switch here, right up to the the negative wire on the coil. And it works just perfect. I've got a couple spare coils here. I've got a spare wire. I can go back to stock easily anytime if I want. I just wanted reliability. Like I said, these are from the 50s. Questionable. So there you go. we have a good solid coil. All right, so I'll kind of show you, there's the back of the coil up there, that round circle. And the wire goes inside of that piece of loom there, that black loom, right? Put the light down, see if I, right here. There's the wire I made. Goes through that rubber grommet out to the firewall. I've got it anchored up there. And comes back to the ignition switch. So, pretty simple. It's not stock, no, but I can go back to stock if I want. And I've got reliability here. And a good strong coil that seems to work just fine. I love it when I can start the car without even hitting the throttle pedal. We're gonna go enjoy this new coil. So fall is here. It's time to get on my block here. Clean it up. Get it ready for assembly. Try it.